It's funny how y'all over there trying to diagnose my child. He is okay. Pray for his little cold to go away. What y'all want to see the medicine take? No, none of your business. You feel me? Like y'all just overly doing too much on this live.
Chrisean finna be on the run because somebody was able to send pictures to the police department of Chrisean's junior genital parts, and they said he was bleeding from his diaper. She allegedly has not been taking him to his hernia surgeries, so they're not up to date as well. He also has severe diaper rashes.
I worship you, Father. I worship you, Father.
Now that's poison. No, I'm not good. I'm not good. You made me run away. Hold on, sit. Are you good? Not with the baby in your head.
Sorry, guys.
What are we doing? What are we doing today, Chrisean? What are we doing?
While the baby was being made and did nothing. You did nothing. You watched her. You watched her because you was scared she was in control of the money. I wouldn't have gave a about that money. I'd have snatched her up and took her to home and made sure she at least got the mental help and counseling that she needed during her pregnancy so that she wouldn't have to regret it for the rest of her life. But don't point the finger at me, cause I ain't never smoked no weed, drunk no liquor. I never did nothing while I was pregnant. I took my vitamins every day, even though they made me nauseous. I fought for my kids to be here. No.
Get all up. Good boy. Good boy. Already got medicine. I take him back tomorrow. But they said it's normal because of, I guess, the flu shot. Like, you know how you get, what's some things? Vaccines. They like, it goes away in like 48 hours. But I don't know. He been having this little fake cough on and off. Like, it go away and come back. Like right now he just, no bitch, he's covered in time. No, he don't have a fever. He doesn't have a fever. It's funny how y'all over there trying to diagnose my child. He is okay. Pray for his little cold to go away. What y'all want to see the medicine take? No, none of your business. You feel me? Like y'all just overly doing too much on this live. I was in the car. I was still in the car because I didn't want to eat and move.
They said you had chlamydia. Your milky instincts didn't kick in. They said we had to do a C-section. Guess what? You refused. You didn't want to mess up your little tattoo. Or you didn't want to get cut, right? Oh, all right. Where your mother instincts was that then? Because you sent through that infected canal, right? You did.
Former social services specialist for MDHHS. Whenever you go into someone's records, you leave a footprint, which is why I never effed around with it. But short of the long, someone leaked Chrisean Jr.'s records, which show FAS, visual impairments, spasticity, seizures, positive for opiates, positive for cocaine, and several other drugs and illnesses. And the main question being asked in the comments is, where was CPS? Listen, as a former CPS investigator, many babies that tested positive for drugs went home with their parents. In most cases, CPS will come out and check the home to make sure the mother has the things she needs for the baby, and services may be offered. But y'all think CPS is the end-all be-all, and it's not.
Be on the run because somebody was able to send pictures to the police department of Chrisean's junior genital parts, and they said he was bleeding from his diaper. She allegedly has not been taking him to his hernia surgeries, so they're not up to date as well. He also has severe diaper rashes, and it's just like, it's getting to a point. If this is all true, I feel like they should just go ahead and place this baby in a good home, or she needs to take parenting class. Instead of chasing all these men that's not doing you no good, do better for your son. Do right by your kid. Like, we want to see him in a healthy position. It's been like one thing after another when it comes to that baby. It first started when she was in Walmart and his head was hanging over while she had the dog in her hand. But Blueface told us and we thought he was lying. And I just find it so crazy that neither one of her family members want to take the baby and help her with the baby. I find that so
I can call you later so you can do what you gotta do.
No, you don't gotta call me later. I just don't want to argue. You can stay on the phone.
I guess you busy, so I'm gonna call you later.
Huh? I'm not busy at all.
Yeah, I guess you busy, so I'm gonna call you later.
I'm not
even busy.
leave my child in no freaking car. He was outside where everybody was standing. It was multiple people sitting around his stroller, waiting for me to get off the phone. Cause my child father is over here being demonic. Don't want to support me. Don't want to do nothing. Don't want to send me nothing. He talking about sitting in the house because what? I have a great support system. I have help. I have Pastor Mike. I have Tim Bone. I have Arissa. I have a lot of support that's there for my son. I don't have to pay for anything. Diapers, wipes, clothes, you name it. No, I'm not homeless. That's the other thing. Stop. Y'all weird. Especially that whole side. Y'all never cared for my son. What the heck? First it wasn't his. Y'all kept saying that. First it wasn't his. Then it was he's retarded. Then it was that. Y'all kept saying he was retarded.
Fell off the bed.
Yeah, he fell off the bed. That's what me and her really got into it about. So look, little bro fall off the bed. I'm like, man, pick him up. She like, oh, he's strong. Man, pick up the fucking baby, you dumbass bitch. Why the fuck you let him fall in the first place? I had to walk out the hotel, bro. It made me so mad. I had to call my mama and tell her, like, Mom, like, I think this girl, like, trying to, like, get, like, let the little nigga get hurt on the accident. Like, she's sick, Mom. And all this because I like, you feel me? I try to be nice and say it was because of the face tat. That's why I left you. No, bitch. I left you because you're horrible.
I said, nigga,
he don't walk. She need to go take him to therapy, y'all. She be capping for y'all. He don't walk, but he can walk if she take him to proper therapy. He gonna do the right stuff. And everybody that's sitting around just want to be in the limelight and get some views and watch that shit. Y'all all fucked up people. Like, y'all sick as hell. Like, you feel me? At least I was trying. I'm trying to stand little bro up. You feel me? I'm stretching him out. I'm getting him right. You feel me? Make sure he got the fresh little clothes on. Try to get him right. Everybody else watching that shit, y'all sick as fuck too. Y'all need to go to jail with the bitch. Y'all all
So he don't eat nothing but milk. I swear to
No,
God.
it's not. He don't eat nothing but milk. That's all she trying to give him, cause that she retarded, y'all. The bitch is slow. I done told the bitch, you gotta feed him. You gotta feed him. He doesn't like you. Bitch, you slow bitch, dead homies. You gotta get away from me. Cause you making me feel like I'm slow. Like, no, bitch, you really retarded. You know, you can't argue with somebody about their kids, and I wasn't gonna be the nigga. But now, that bitch need to go to jail.
What was supposed to be just another messy Instagram live turned into a full-blown internet emergency when viewers realized they weren't watching drama. They were watching a baby struggle to breathe. As his coughing grew louder in the background, concerns flooded the comments, only to be brushed off as fake, overreacting, and nobody's business. But once clips started circulating, the conversation shifted fast, pulling in old accusations, leaked information, and long-standing questions about whether this child has been protected at all. Now, with CPS allegedly involved and multiple past incidents resurfacing, people aren't asking if something is wrong anymore. They're asking how it was allowed to go on this long. It started with an Instagram live that viewers say they can't unhear. The screen showed Chrisean casually chatting, but the sound in the background is what stopped people cold. A congested baby struggling to breathe, coughing hard, wheezing, gasping in a way parents immediately recognized as distress. The comments exploded in real time, with viewers begging her to check on him, to pick him up, to end the live and focus on her child. Instead, what shocked people most wasn't just what they heard. It was how quickly it was dismissed. She waved it off as a fake cough, laughed it away, and doubled down by telling viewers to stop diagnosing her child, insisting he was fine while the sounds continued in the background. That disconnect between what people believed they were witnessing and how it was being minimized is what sent this moment viral almost instantly. Clips from that live spread across social media within hours, stripped of context and replayed again and again, each loop amplifying the same question. How could someone hear that and not panic? Viewers said the baby sounded like he was choking on mucus, fighting for air, and crying in pure distress, while the energy on screen remained defensive and dismissive. When she finally reached for medicine, people expected relief, but the coughing didn't stop and the tone didn't change. Instead of concern, there was irritation at the audience, at the comments, at the idea that anyone would question her parenting. For many watching, that moment became the point of no return, because it wasn't just about a sick child anymore. It was about a refusal to acknowledge what thousands of people felt they were clearly hearing. What made the outrage explode even faster was the way the live ended without resolution. There was no hospital visit shown, no reassurance that a doctor had been called, no visible urgency that matched the severity viewers believed they just witnessed. As the clips circulated, captions grew harsher, reactions more emotional, and the narrative shifted from concern to alarm. People weren't just reacting to a single cough. They were reacting to what they saw as a pattern of indifference playing out in real time, on camera, with a child who couldn't advocate for himself. That's when the language online escalated from "this is scary" to "someone needs to step in." By the next day, the viral moment had become a flashpoint. Commentators, bloggers, and reaction channels zeroed in on the same contrast. A baby audibly struggling versus a mother insisting everything was normal and accusing viewers of being dramatic. That tension is what locked people in. Everyone had an opinion, everyone felt unsettled, and everyone wanted to know the same thing. If this is what happened on live, in front of thousands of people, what happens when the camera is off? That single Instagram live didn't just spark outrage. It cracked open a much bigger conversation that was already simmering under the surface, and once it did, there was no putting it back. Her response came fast, and it was firm. She pushed back hard against the panic, telling viewers they were doing too much, accusing strangers on the internet of trying to diagnose her child through a screen. She insisted there was no fever, no emergency, no reason for alarm, framing the cough as normal and even suggesting it was exaggerated or fake. In her mind, the real issue wasn't the baby's breathing, it was the audience's audacity. But while she was defending herself, the public reaction was shifting in real time. What started as worried comments turned into genuine fear, then into anger, as viewers felt like their concern was being mocked. Sympathy evaporated quickly, replaced by disbelief that someone could hear those sounds and still focus more on arguing with commenters than checking on their child. That tension only grew as people replayed the clips and compared her explanations to what they believed they heard. Parents, nurses, and everyday viewers chimed in, saying the cough didn't sound playful or fake, but wet, labored, and dangerous. The more she dismissed the concern, the louder the reaction became. Comment sections filled with people saying this was no longer about being nosy or dramatic, but about a baby who couldn't speak for himself. By the time she doubled down again, telling viewers to mind their business and pray instead, the tone online had fully shifted. This wasn't internet nitpicking anymore. This was fear turning into alarm, and alarm turning into demands for accountability. That's when things took a more serious turn. Rumors began circulating that reports had been made, that complaints were being filed, and that CPS had allegedly been notified following the viral live. Suddenly, this wasn't just a messy Instagram moment fueling blog posts and reaction videos. The conversation escalated into whether authorities were now involved behind the scenes. People claimed that the volume of concern had crossed a threshold, that this was no longer something that could be brushed off as internet trolls exaggerating for clicks. Even those who usually stay neutral started to say the same thing. When talk of CPS enters the picture, it's a sign the situation has moved beyond commentary and into real-world consequences. As more eyes went back over her history, the narrative began to change. Viewers didn't see the Instagram Live as an isolated scare anymore. They started connecting dots, resurfacing older clips, screenshots, and accusations that had once been brushed aside or forgotten. Moments that were previously dismissed as people reaching suddenly looked different through this new lens. Missed appointments, questionable decisions, chaotic environments, and repeated defensiveness all began to feel less like coincidences and more like a pattern. The viral clip became the catalyst that reframed everything before it, turning scattered incidents into what critics now describe as a troubling timeline. Then came the fallout involving family and the child's father. Old statements resurfaced, including public criticisms that, at the time, many believed were fueled by bitterness or control. Back then, the narrative painted him as the unreasonable one, the toxic ex trying to drag her down. But now, public opinion started to shift. People revisited his warnings with fresh eyes, questioning whether he had been sounding the alarm all along and simply wasn't believed. Relatives who had spoken out in the past were suddenly taken more seriously, their words no longer dismissed as family drama, but reconsidered as possible red flags that went ignored when they mattered most. The situation reached another level when alleged medical information began circulating online. Reports claimed that private medical details about the child had been leaked, sparking intense debate and discomfort even among those who were deeply concerned. On one hand, the allegations described serious health issues that, if true, painted an even more alarming picture and explained why so many people felt uneasy. On the other hand, the way that information surfaced raised serious ethical and legal questions. Even critics acknowledged that leaking medical records crosses a line, regardless of intent. Still, the damage was done. The allegations intensified scrutiny, fueled speculation, and made it impossible for the conversation to return to where it started. At this point, the story wasn't just about a viral live or a defensive response. It had become a layered controversy involving public behavior, alleged reports, resurfaced history, fractured family dynamics, and deeply sensitive medical claims. Each new development added weight to the last, pulling more people in and making it harder to dismiss the situation as internet drama. What began as concern had snowballed into something far heavier, leaving the public asking not just what happened on that live, but how many warning signs have been missed along the way. New voices entering the conversation are what reignited the story, just as some people thought it might fade. Ex-partners and former insiders began speaking up, sharing accounts that painted a far more unsettling picture than a single viral clip ever could. These weren't random commenters or faceless accounts chasing clout, but people who claimed firsthand experience behind closed doors. Their statements echoed similar themes: missed appointments, ignored advice, and moments where the child's needs allegedly took a back seat to chaos, arguments, or image. For many viewers, this was the moment the situation felt bigger than one mother, one live stream, or one bad night. Each new claim added another layer, refreshing public interest and forcing people to reconsider whether the viral incident was a warning sign rather than an anomaly. As these stories spread, a different and more controversial debate began to circulate online, one that made even supporters uneasy. Rumors started swirling that prayer and faith were being prioritized over consistent medical care or therapy. To be clear, much of this remains speculation shared by critics and observers, not confirmed fact. Still, the conversation gained traction fast, especially as clips and screenshots from church settings began going viral. Some viewers interpreted them as signs of denial, while others saw them as harmless expressions of faith being unfairly scrutinized. The idea that spiritual belief might replace professional intervention struck a nerve, not because faith itself was the issue, but because of what people feared it could mean for a child with potential developmental or medical needs. That debate split audiences right down the middle. One side argued that prayer and medical care are not mutually exclusive and accused critics of weaponizing religion to push a narrative. The other side questioned whether relying too heavily on faith could delay or prevent a child from getting the help they need. Again, None of this was presented as settled truth, but as online speculation fueled by patterns people believed they were seeing. The lack of clear answers only intensified the discussion, allowing theories to flourish in the absence of transparency. By this point, the internet was fully divided. Some people were calling for immediate removal, insisting that too many red flags have been ignored and that waiting any longer could put the child at risk. Others pushed back hard, asking why the outrage seemed to fall on one parent alone while broader responsibility was rarely addressed. They questioned the role of the father, the family, the system, and even the audience itself. Why, they asked, does public concern only explode when something goes viral? Why weren't the same people demanding action months ago or holding everyone involved to the same standard? This split kept the story alive. Every comment section became a battleground between fear and fairness, urgency and skepticism. Some warned that internet outrage can spiral into dangerous assumptions, while others argued that silence and hesitation are exactly how real harm gets overlooked. The louder the arguments became, the clearer it was that no consensus was coming anytime soon. Instead of answers, there were sides, each convinced the other was missing the point. And that's where the story sits now, unresolved and heavy with stakes. At the center of all the speculation, outrage, and back and forth is a child who didn't ask to be born into the spotlight or turned into a public debate. The biggest question hasn't been answered yet. Is he safe, supported, and getting everything he needs? Until that question is definitively addressed, the conversation isn't going anywhere. People will keep watching, dissecting, and arguing, not because it's entertaining, but because the outcome actually matters. And now, with so many claims, denials, and unanswered questions in the air, the only thing left is to ask where you stand and what you think should happen next.